I own close to $1 billion in Amazon stock. Well, it's not me, obviously. It's this guy. This guy is Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban just disclosed in a recent interview, which is breaking news, guys, because he never done it again, and you hear it here on this channel first, about his stocks holdings. He's a multi-billionaire, the owner of the Mavericks NBA club, and also angel investor, and we will talk about who he is, how he made his money, and what are his stocks, so stay tuned. Let's first talk about Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban is maybe known for you guys from the series Shark Tank, where he is one of the juror to inside and an investor to inside if he invested in this startups, and he is sometimes very to the point. I really like his mentality actually, and he's also maybe running as independent president. If his family will give him the go, he would be all in, but this is politics. Let's talk about his financial life. So he actually didn't born rich or anything, you know. He actually in 1982, so about 37 years ago, he is a bartender in a Greenville bar called Ellen, not Elon Musk. Alright, so he then became a salesperson for a software company, and then, you know, he rather to choose to close a deal rather to come and open the retail shop, and that's why the boss fired him, and then he opened his own software company, you know, with some help of his other clients that he had before. He was a great salesman, you know, he know the knowledge about it. He's like a very persistent guy to try to get to the knowledge to deep inside to know what he's talking about. So he really was into the topic and theme, and that's why he built then Micro Solutions, which, you know, is the company that he have sold then to CompuServe and got $6 million for it. So within, you know, just a decade, he became from bartender to multi-millionaire, and this is really ridiculous. He's so good in that, and he did it again, and the deal was getting bigger. Okay, so he was, you know, on the thing with computers. Then he saw the internet growing, you know, and he was the creator of AudioNet. AudioNet was the first streaming platform that transmitted it live or broadcasted audio that people could stream. Later on, they streamed also obviously video and so on and so forth. So all this adventure became broadcast.com in 1989. And by 1999, they grow to 330 employees and 13.5 million revenues in US dollars. So very great start. And he founded this in 1995. So you can see in 4 short years he grown from startup into a multi-billion-dollar company. And this is the beauty of the internet, of the .com area, you know. It was so, with the right idea and the right product and the right execution in the management, you can grow very rich in this kind of gold rush in the internet scene. So he actually sold in 1999, just before the big .com crash in 2000s, broadcast.com to Yahoo, and Yahoo bought it for a stunning $5.7 billion in stocks. So actually he got within 4 years from multi-millionaire to multi-billionaire. And since then he tried to, you know, diversify his wealth into different sections. He became an angel investor, you know. He is an early stage investor in companies like Ice Rocket, Blocksphere, Red Shoes, Weblogs, and so on and so forth. Since 2011, he's on Shark Tank, the very famous TV show, with him as one of the main investors. And since January 4th in the 2000, he purchased the majority stake in the NBA Dallas Mavericks for $285 because he saw, you know, the business behind it. He treat the players very, very, very good, you know, that they came to very relaxed to the games, you know. He pushed them, and, you know, all this business mentality he brought to the club and made it one of the most successful NBA clubs around the world. So now you know who he is, how he made his money. So let's dive to his stock ownings. So in a Fox Business interview, he for the very first time officially and in public declared his stocks portfolio, which is quite shocking when you read the headline. So he basically saying, I own almost $1 billion in Amazon stocks. Now think about it. $1 billion is 1,000 times 1 million US dollars. That is much more than people can spend in their lifetime. And he have this in basically in cash, because he could actually every day when he is in that mood, he could sell everything and have this in cash on the bank. So stocks are actually like cash, you know, you can basically sell it in every second. That's why, you know, you can say that those like cash positions, you know. So he's very liquid. So another holdings that he's saying, he has 4 dividend stocks. He has Netflix, and he has 2 short positions, which were not disclosed, as well as not the dividend stocks. So however, he says the Amazon is by far the most biggest position in his portfolio, obviously with $1 billion, you know. But Amazon and Netflix he held for many years. He went into this growth. He saw this growth opportunity, especially because he's this pioneer in internet and technology. He saw the growth opportunity of Amazon and Netflix and invested early on, and, you know, made 1,000% on his stocks. And you know, he actually also saying that he has a lot of cash on the side. He always try to be, you know, ready for the crash. When the crash is coming, I go into with a lot of cash into the market, buy cheap and everything. So my opinion on this all is actually very likely. So I really like this opportunity, because, you know, you can see this kind of very famous investor and experienced investor also diversify his portfolio into a sport club, into early investments, and into stocks. And even the stocks, they are not like 30 stocks or 40 stocks that he pick by hand. He just say, hey, I know about internet, I know about growth, so I invest in the 2 biggest growth opportunities, which is Amazon and Netflix. You know, I have 4 companies, 4 dividend stocks that give me monthly money, you know, and I have 2 short positions of companies that I think they will lose money on the next couple of years, you know. So you see there's not much different stocks, you know, very similar to my portfolio as well. So I really like this approach, and I believe that, you know, you shouldn't put too much stocks in your basket, because to radar them, monitor them every single day, what's news, which I believe is important, you know, is almost impossible if you are like a hobby investor. If you're a professional investor, you know, you should maybe have 20-ish, 30-ish pieces of stocks. So by then you can keep track on the industry, on the stocks, on the management moves, and so on the products, how the products develop in the market, and so on. So let me know what you think, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and see you tomorrow.